What's up guys, it's Dan. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, all those YouTube things that help us grow. Roll that intro. What is up everyone, welcome back. So today we are looking at the new for 2025 Fender Standard Series Stratocaster. So I'll just kick this off by saying that this is not a sponsored review. We bought this guitar with our own money. It was not intended for review purposes or anything like that. There was no kind of heads up of like, we're gonna do a video on this. And I can only review what comes out of the box. Yours might not be like this, yours might be different, but I can only review what physically comes out of the box. And as usual, if you watch my videos, I will be 100% honest about what I got when I took it out of the box. Kicking off with the specs at the body, we've got the Candy Cola finish on this one with a 3-ply scratch plate, poplar body, 3 single coil ceramic pickups, so the Fender Standard Series pickups, volume, 2 tones, input jack, 5-way switch, 2-point trem. If we flip her over, we got the old tummy cut there for people like me, and yeah, pretty much everything that you would expect from a Stratocaster. Heading over to the next side of things, we've got a maple neck with a modern C-shaped profile. This has got the maple fretboard. You can get a laurel fretboard as well. 21 frets on this one, sealed Fender tuners. It's a 25.5 inch scale and a 9.5 inch radius. Sounds and tones that you can get out of this guitar are, it's what you would expect from a Strat. It's very flexible. The pickups are ceramic single coils, so they're a little bit hotter sounding than what you would get in, say, a Player 2 Strat Mexican or the American Professional Strat. They're a bit hotter sounding. Fender say they've done that on purpose for maximum flexibility. As I say, all the classic Strat tones are there, crystal clear, like clean tones. On the bridge, a little bit of bite if you dig in. Bluesy, gainy tones, and you can push the gain up even higher if you want and get that kind of grungy, rocky tone out of it. Very flexible guitar. The fact that it's got ceramic pickups in there might be more of a cost-saving thing, but the tones are definitely in this guitar. Setup on this straight out of the box, I said I would be 100% honest, and honest I will be. Did they even bother? This has got to be a contender in 5 years of doing videos. Hundreds of review videos for the worst setup guitar out of the box that I have ever played. And it's not like they don't have experience making guitars in Indonesia. Obviously, I'm assuming this came out the Squier factory, and I've played loads of Squiers, which are amazing guitars, and in some cases even better than the Mexican equivalents, which are higher in price and supposed to be a higher end factory. But when tuned up to standard, the bridge is sticking up way higher than it should be. The way they've even strung the guitar just is not good at all. You can see rust spots all over the strings, and these were only announced last week, so this is a brand new product that's just come out. So rusty strings on there. The nut has been cut so badly that the guitar sounds like a sitar unplugged. I'm not sure if my mic will pick this up, but it just sounds awful. There's no kind of sustain to it. It just buzzes all over. This was not a pleasure to play for the demos. It's got a stick. I know some people will say like it's the cheapest Fender branded guitar that they do, but they put a sticker on it that says the standard is set. So Fender are saying that this is the standard. This is what you should expect when you take a Fender branded guitar out of the box. This is the standard that you should expect. And obviously these were only announced at the time of filming this video 5 days ago, and we've got it in already, we've done the review already, and this is a launch model, which you would think that they would say put loads of effort, check these, because we are saying this is the new standard. We've moved the Fender standard to Indonesia, which people are going to kick off about. Make sure that you blow them away and that they know that there are still quality guitars coming out of that factory. Big fail, big fail. As I said, I know at this price point, people will say, well, you might have to do a bit of setup work, but you shouldn't have to recut the nut, do a full setup on the bridge, change all the strings because they're rusty. Some of the fret ends are sharp, so you've got to do a fret dress on it. Like, it's too much. This is going to be sent back to where we got it from, because no one should be expected to do that much work on a guitar when they get it out of the box. Build quality on the guitar is, you know, it's been put together, bolted together very well. There's nothing loose. There's nothing like the neck's on straight. The quality of wood that they've used for what they've used is very good. It does have kind of a bit of a cheap feel about it, and that's not just me being like snobbish or anything. As I say, I've tried loads of Squiers that I love and think they feel great, but there is something that does feel a bit cheap about this guitar. The volume and tone pots, you know, they've got a bit of friction to them, so they're not kind of going to move around accidentally or anything like that. That all feels very good, but obviously the execution of once it's been bolted together, that leaves a bit of room for improvement, shall we say. The finishing on the guitar, the color, the paint job, that is absolutely stunning. I've always loved the candy cola finish, and it has been applied very well. If you get it in the light, you can see polishing marks on it, like fine scratches, which I know you might expect over time, but maybe not on a brand new guitar that was launched 5 days ago, so it's not like it's been sat on a shop wall or anything. Yeah, for the most part, very good, but definitely room for improvement. Would I play one of these live? And as usual by that, I mean, if I was going on tour for a year and you gave me one of these and said, this is all you're allowed to play, would I play one of these? The answer to that is, like this, no. I would have to try one that's been set up and restrung and actually a gig-worthy guitar, because if you bought one of these and you had a gig tomorrow and it came out the box like this and you didn't have time to do a setup, this is not gig worthy. It's not recording session worthy with all the sitar-like noises and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely not. Setup and all of that stuff, like with the full works done to it, it might be a great guitar. The pickups sound really good. They respond really well to picking dynamics, and if you roll the volume down, they clean up really nicely. So all of that stuff is great, but I'd have to try one of these set up properly to know whether I'd want to play one live. But as it is out of the box, no. Is the guitar worth the money? Now in the UK, these are priced at $499 is the launch price point. The Telly is the same price. Now, this used to be the price point for like Mexican player or the old Mexican standard Strats and Tellys, but obviously things are going up and up and up in price. And one of the things that I hear quite often from people when new Mexican standard style guitars or some of the signature guitars are released at £800-900 is, I'm not paying that for a Mexican made guitar. So obviously to keep a price point down, they've had to move it to a factory where they can build things to a price point, which is why I think they've done this. And it wouldn't surprise me if over the years you see more and more Fender series guitars. Like the Tom DeLonge is obviously Indonesian or Chinese, I forget which. But it wouldn't surprise me to see more and more Fender branded guitars move to the Indonesian side of things and replace some of the Mexican series just to keep the price point down, to keep people happy. But here's the problem, is obviously a lot of people will compare this to things like the Silver Sky SE, which granted full price is nearly twice the price of this, but for ages they've been reduced in the UK to $499. The Silver Sky SE, we've tried loads of them here in the studio that have come through, and yes, you might get a dud. I've never had a dud. They've always come out set up perfectly. They come with a padded gig bag. This doesn't come with a gig bag. This might be a dud, the others might be great, but obviously, as I said, I can only review what comes out of the box here. So if you're asking me, is this worth the money, then for this example here, I would have to say, try one before you buy it and check out what else is available at that price point, because you may find that the Ibanez style S-type guitars, the Silver Sky SEs, Kort's own branded S-style guitars, loads of other brands at this price point, you may find that you get a better guitar for the money. If they're all like this, they might not be. I'm sure people will tell me in the comments, but I can only go by what's come out on the box for me. So is this worth the money? This particular one, I would not pay $499 for. If someone was willing to put the time into putting a new nut on or recutting the nut, setting it all up and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure it'll be a great guitar. But out of the box, $499, this particular one, not for me. So usually in these videos, I do a little bit, a segment, if you will, for is there anything that I don't like about the guitar? And I think I've already made that clear about this particular one that's come out of the box. So instead, I'm going to say, I will talk a little bit about the whole made in Indonesia thing for a Fender branded guitar. It's not the first time it's been done in the Far East. The Light Ash series stuff was made in Korea. The Tom DeLonge Fender branded guitars, the Starcasters, have been made in the Far East. It's not the first time. It's the first time that you've seen something that is branded as the standard with Fender on the headstock made in the Far East, and I've got no problem with that. Time and time again in recent years, with prices going up, tariffs going crazy, all that kind of stuff, have I seen new models of Fenders get released, like I'll take the Kurt Cobain Jaguar for example, which is well over £1,000 in the UK. I've seen loads of people buy those and just assume because of the price point that it's going to be an American guitar, and then they get it and go, well, it's Mexican. I didn't know it was Mexican. I wouldn't pay that much money for a Mexican guitar. Or I've seen people just flat out refuse to buy it because it's a Mexican guitar at that price point and it's not American. With prices going up, to keep instruments like this accessible, especially if you want that Fender brand, then to keep it accessible, I am all for moving stuff to other factories and other countries. Most of the stuff like this is done on CNC machines anyway, where they'll just send a file over and say, put that in your CNC machine, put the wood in, and it'll cut it to our specs. The only thing I've got a problem with, and this may just be a one-off, I don't know what's happened with this one, but if you're gonna do that and you're gonna call it the standard and say the standard is set, do it well. Because this one out of the box is just not where it's at. And I'm sure I will get roasted in the comments from people who say, I got one and mine was great. It always happens when I get a guitar that isn't as good as what you would expect. But as I always say, I can only review what is in front of me. I could lie to you like a lot of reviewers do and say it's perfect, but it's not. So the fact that it's moved to Indonesia, I've not got a problem with, and I would expect to see over the coming years more Fender branded, not Squier, all that kind of, just Fender branded instruments. I would expect to see more of it move to the Far East to keep the price point down, to keep it accessible for people who don't have loads of money to spend on a new guitar but want that Fender brand on the headstock. So there we go, that is the Fender Standard Series Strat 2025 model. I really wanted to like this guitar. The amount of times I've reviewed some of the new Mexican stuff and it's had like fretting issues and all that kind of stuff, and people have said to me, even the high-end stuff, and people have said to me like, yeah, but if you want quality, you should buy American. And my comeback has always been, yeah, but I can buy a Squier from Indonesia and not have those problems. And then here we are, a Fender from Indonesia, and it's got even more problems. So that is very disappointing for me, personally, with my usual comeback. Yeah, this one is going back to the supplier that we bought it from, because although we're not above doing setup work here, for a brand new guitar that was released 5 days ago or announced 5 days ago, to come with like even the rusty strings, which I know they might have made them a while ago, but it was announced 5 days ago, and for it to come with rusty strings already is not on, and it needs too much work doing to it for a brand new guitar that is supposed to play well out of the box to the standard that is set by Fender. So yeah, interesting point is when I spoke to someone earlier about this guitar and said that I was doing a review of it and it wasn't going to be a particularly favourable review, which I wish it was. They said, well, are you not going to get in trouble or something for doing like a bad review of it when, you know, you guys with the giveaways and everything will probably end up doing these? And the beauty of what we do is obviously we're not sponsored or anything like that, and I have full reign to give reviews like this if I want to, because honesty is incredibly important to me. So yeah, let me know, did you guys get one? Did it have any issues? Can we trust these if we buy more of them? I'm sure we'll get a replacement one for this one and hopefully it'll be all right. But yeah, let me know in the comments and I would love to know. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.